I'm going to start with this project. I put tape on the back of these holes that I hang my tape board up. And incidentally, this is my old board. I'm just using the back side. So I'm not even bothering to remove this tape. I can do that later. But so I taped up the holes to keep the epoxy from running through. And then I'm just going to lay down tape here. Alright, so after pouring that epoxy for my puzzle table, it gave me the idea of doing this. And I'm just going to tape around the edges, get it set up on some blocks, mix up some of that leftover epoxy, pour it in here, and after it cures, we'll see what if the machine can read it or not. I don't know how much I have here, but we're going to find out if it's enough. I know you're not supposed to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what it looks like in the morning. Okay, the tape is off, and I'm going to clean up these edges a little bit. I did come in here last night, and you can see these are, hopefully you can see these are a little rough, but I forced this tape back down close to being below the surface, but I don't think this is going to matter. I'll find out. I may, you know, if I ever run the router over that part, you'd want that to be smooth. But let me, one thing that does have to be cleaned up is these edges, because these definitely rise up where the tape was. So I'll hand plane those down, and then I'll come back and we'll give this a first trial run to see if this is actually going to work. You know what? I shouldn't even do that. I should see if it's going to work first before I put the effort into cleaning up these edges. Let me try that. Hang on. Alright, here it goes. Let's see what happens. Well, it says I can start a scan. New scan. It is reading the tape. Beautiful. You can see here that all that blue tape has been read by the machine, so I'm happy. This will be much more permanent than a just tape on the board like I had before. Okay, got everything shaved down reasonably. Wiped off the surface with just a wet rag here. Drilled out the holes. Remove the tape that was back there, and now I'm going to let this dry here. Just put on a coat of wax, and then we'll give this thing a trial run. Let me grab a paper towel and get this dried off. But you can see, maybe you can see. And one thing I would say about this, doing a project, now that I've done what I've done, I would make my board oversize. Then I could just take it to the table saw and trim it back. You know, if it was 2 inches larger in each direction, you could trim it to the size you want. And this board is, I've forgotten, I think it's about probably 28 by, let's just get a quick idea here. 22 by maybe just shy of 36. So if you had a board 24 by 38 and then cut it back. The other thing I would do would be take this tape and run it over the edge so that it's held down firmly and doesn't pop up on you. That would save you a lot of hassle and trouble. And then other than that, you know, I guess I would not have pre-drilled holes. I'd drill them after the fact, so you wouldn't lose so much epoxy down in there. But I think for this little experiment, this will work out well for me. And then, like I said, if you end up doing a board like this, you could save yourself a lot of time and trouble just doing those few things ahead of time to keep it from doing what I did here, you know, where the tape raised up, and then you could just table saw cut your edges. All right, I don't think I'll do that again. I actually stopped doing it because I let a part cure and it started to buff it off, and it takes a lot of work to get it off. So I think it's probably best just to let that go. And part of my problem would be that you know, this has not been sitting that long. It's been about 20, no, not even that, maybe 18 hours since I poured this yesterday. So I'm not gonna mess around with putting any more paste wax on the epoxy. I waxed the bottom of my router. Oh, I guess I'm not quite ready yet. I gotta get my vacuum system hooked up here, but I've got this board scanned in. This is flat on the table. This board had to be shimmed up a little bit to get it flush, or just maybe a little bit above this board. And then I've got it clamped in place with like a couple of little step clamps here. You see these holes here? I don't know if, I think that might be the spacing for my bench top here. I don't know if that, whatever. But at any rate, those holes also scanned in on the original scan, and I've got my router placed, the crosshairs right over one of these holes, and I've got an engraving bit in here. So I'm just gonna see if I can put a concentric circle around that point of maybe an inch or so, or 2-inch diameter around that, and see how well it ends up being centered on. I'd say that's pretty good. It looks very, very much centered to me. See if I can get over that a little better. Thanks for watching.